Hello, great fellow countrymen. Wambura alias Joseph Blessed is the name. Joe Ink Space is the platform. How have you been, guys? Trusting you've been okay. Now, we have some major breaking news from Tanzania, whereby the deputy president, or rather, as per how they call them, the vice president of the Republic of Tanzania, has officially made his, notification to the president of Tanzania and the Republic at large on a letter dated 25th August that he has made a decision to resign from the position of the second in command in Tanzania effective 4th of September 2026. And as a result, that is not enough. So going to just retire from the entire active politics. Now, it should be remembered that, guys, we've had another scenario from Kenya whereby the second in command was ousted, or rather was impeached, and therefore it happens that this is happening as well in Tanzania, and therefore, the citizens of these two countries are like, what is really happening? Could there be a misunderstanding between the first in command and the second in command? But as per how things are going, we do not know how, the politics is going to take shape, especially in the East African countries. Now, there is a letter here that was dated in 25th of August, and I'm going to read it in Swahili as it was, scripted by the second in command of Tanzania. And the letter reads like this, he's like, leo tarehe 25 Agosti 2026 nimemwandikia barua Rais wa Jamhuri ya Muungano wa Tanzania Mheshimiwa Daktari Samia Suluhu Hassan kumjulisha kuwa nimeamua kustaafu siasa na utumishi wa umma, hivyo nitajiuzulu nafasi ya makamu wa rais wa Jamhuri ya Muungano wa Tanzania kwa kuzingatia ibara ya 52 cha ikisomwa kwa pamoja na ibara ya 149(2) ya katiba kuanzia tarehe 4 Septemba 2026. Tarehe 27 Agosti 2025 nilimwahidi Mheshimiwa Rais Daktari Samia Suluhu Hassan kuwa nitamsaidia yeye na nchi yetu kwa uwezo wangu wote na kwa uaminifu. Pia nilimhakikishia kuwa siku yeyote akiona anahitaji makamu mwingine wa rais, nitaachia nafasi hii. Nimejivisha pasipo shaka kuwa Mheshimiwa Rais anatamani mabadiliko, hivyo nimeamua kutimiza ahadi yangu. Kipekee namshukuru Mheshimiwa Rais na Chama cha Mapinduzi CCM kwa imani yao kwangu. Natumai nafasi hii pia kuwashukuru. Natumia nafasi hii pia kuwashukuru Watanzania wote kwa ushirikiano mkubwa mlionipa wakati wote nilokuwa katika utumishi wa umma, na hakikishia kuwa nitaendelea kuwa raia mwema wa Tanzania. Kisha akamalizia na kutia sahihi pale. I'm going to read my personal translation that I made from this letter, okay? And here it reads, just a minute as I'm trying to look for the English translation for the sake of those people who might not be able to understand, the Swahili writing. And here we go. Just a minute, guys. And here we go. So the letter translated to English, it reads that, therefore, I hereby announce my decision to resign from the position of Vice President of the United Republic of Tanzania in accordance with Article 52C, read together with Article 149(2) of the Constitution, effective 4th September 2026. On 27th August 2025, I promised His Excellency President Dr. Samia Suluhu Hassan that I would support her and our country to the best of my ability and with the dedication. I also assured her that whenever she needed another vice president, I will leave this position. I have fulfilled my promise, knowing that the president has the right to make changes. Therefore, I have decided to honor my commitment. Finally, I would like to thank His Excellency the President of the Chama cha Mapinduzi CCM for the trust they placed in me. I also take this opportunity to thank all Tanzanians for the great cooperation they have given me throughout the entire period I served in public office. I assure them I will continue to be a patriotic citizen of Tanzania. Now, having a I had another scenario in Kenya whereby the deputy president, of course, Rigathi Gachagua, was impeached for very many reasons that were tabled in the both houses of the, both houses of the parliament here in Kenya, which led to his impeachment. Even though a few months later, after the court review of the cases, they realized that some of the processes were not conducted in accordance to the law, and the Senate was, instructed to pay a couple of millions to, which I will not be able to quantify because I must be sure unless I have to go to Google, which I consider that one as your personal assignment. So the Senate was ordered to, to compensate the former president Rigathi Gachagua a number of millions. I think it was around 52 millions, if I'm not wrong. That one is not verified according to this report. So from that scenario and now this one of Tanzania, people have been so much skeptical and they do not know what's happening in the East African politics. As a result, you realize that people have, this has triggered many reactions from various, netizens, both Kenyans and some of them, Tanzanians. And this is the first reaction that I came across on social media.
Major breaking news from across the border in Tanzania, where the Vice President, Dr. Emmanuel Nchimbi, has just announced that he is going to resign from that position effective the 4th of September 2026, quit active politics and public service altogether. Now, Dr. Nchimbi has revealed that he has already tendered his resignation letter to the President, Samia Suluhu, and he says that decision was in line with a commitment he made to the President that whenever change would be needed, he would step aside, and he says that he is convinced that the head of state needs change in that position. You can definitely follow this channel if you're interested.
Vice President of Tanzania resign. Na ile reason amepeana is that alikwanga promise Samia Suluhu that Samia Suluhu akihitaji another vice president atachana na position. Let me read for you word for word what he said. Is that I also assured her that if at any time she felt she needed another vice president, I would relinquish this position. Ingekuwa hapa Kenya mtu atakuwa anapewa slap, akuwa anakanyagwa, akuwa anafanya nini, awachi hiyo position. Na it's not just about Kindiki. Every other politician in Kenya, they hold on to their positions ni kama sijui ni nini. Hata akuwa kwa scandal, akuwa kwa mesa, akuwa ameua, akuwa amefanya nini, they will not leave their positions for anything. Yani wanashikilia na mikono yao yote. Na huyu si ati ni politician majuzi huyu mwenye tunaongelelea.
So, while other people are fighting for power, that some of them, they reach to the extent of threatening to take other people's lives just to get into this government, to take this power, to take this control. Others are running away from it and even swearing to never come back to it. Bro, this has really shocked me so much. So according to the news from Tanzania now states that the Vice President of Tanzania, Dr. Emmanuel Nchimbi, has announced his resignation from office and retirement from politics and public service in a public notice issued on Tuesday from the office.
Okay, guys, so that happens to be some of the reactions for the netizens. I do not know what you think. Well, this is unverified opinions. Rumors has it that there is an attempt to amend the Tanzanian constitution, and which did not sit well with the current Vice President of the Republic of Tanzania. He was like, no, I'm not gonna be part of this. So however, that is unverified as well. We're waiting to see what's gonna translate to. Maybe he gonna maybe have some different move, despite he has made it clear that he's not gonna involve himself in the active politics. But politicians, just as always, my promise today not to participate in the active politics, but later on, they will always find a way as a comeback to make sure that they still stay active in the national politics. So that was it from Tanzania. We're still waiting for the 4th of September. Maybe perhaps, Emmanuel Nchimbi, the current vice president of Tanzania, gonna turn down his decision, or maybe perhaps he gonna proceed with the same. But as we wind up this video, I would like to leave you with some thoughts, or rather some feedback you can share in the comment section. What do you think? What's really happening with the leadership in East Africa? Is it that the top in commands have maybe failed in a way to have a cohesive relationship with their juniors, or rather their second in command? How do you think is their best way in which they can be able to solve all the issue? Of course, you all understand that when we have such kind of happenings, having such kind of a senior leader resigning, there must be some tensions in the country, and of course it might lead to citizens losing trust in the current government, especially now when the circumstances under which that kind of, or that sort of a high-ranking leader is resigning, it might trigger so many questions to the normal citizen who might not be having first-hand information as to why that has happened, and that one might also lower the trust of the country to the incumbent president, or rather to incumbent first in command. I don't know what you think. Let me get your feedback in the comment section. I was your host, Wambura alias Joseph Blessed, and I really thank you so much for being part of this community. Kindly consider subscribing to this account. I really appreciate you. Subscribe, turn on notification bell, make your comment, like this video, share if possible. If you like, comment. Thank you so much. See you in the next video. Bye bye.